With all the horrible things that are in front of us. Well, I always knew that there would be no happy ending. That looks quite horrible. Strapped down creature. This creature squirms in its medical restraints. Great black eyes in a sunken grey voice glare with malice. Life support machinery. This machinery shows the heartbeat of the threat strapped to its table. Where do we enter into here? Okay, that's like that sort of a stairs. Mainframe computer. Surprisingly antique considering the surroundings, but the appearance can be deceiving. Storage drives and mainframe computer. Coolant pines. Life support machines. And the monitors and something overpower cell housing, but first PDAs.
Don't go any further. I'm warning you now.
How could you do this?
I do with my children as I see fit.
It's barbaric.
Spare me the pity of the righteous. Your daughter owes her life to me.
What do you know about Rebecca?
ARG was good on this ship, Mr. Marichek. Cancer, HIV, Ebola. I eliminated them all. Her life is mine to do with as I choose. Oh yes, I know about everything, Johnny boy. I know about your daughter and all about your wife. You are accountable.
Jammed his signal, John. You need to hurry. We're close.
Well, curing from some sort of AIDS and so on, those sort of viruses. Possibly they are indeed cured if they're in this sort of creatures or better humans, but aren't they anymore themselves? Probably not. PDA. Dr. G. Malan, January 1. The new year begins, the wheel turns, and the Croom Lake continues to lead the vanguard of scientific discovery for all of humankind. Yet I feel dissatisfied. Even as the peons who work under me celebrate the new year, I wonder why. Why would you celebrate such an asinine concept as an outdated Gregorian calendar on a ship that's currently swimming through the depths of space? The reason is clear. Comfort. They fear the unknown, the alien, the impossible. I do not. I embrace the unforgiving cosmos with open arms. The problem with the research we do is the humans doing it, constrained as they are by conscience, remorse, and sometimes even fear. We try to grasp the infinite and give it a framework that ill fits its cosmic splendor. This is my 10th year as Special Projects Director for Kane Corporation. Despite my discoveries and quest for knowledge, I am held back at every turn by paperwork, moralizing scientists, and that group of degenerate toadies that I sit on the board with. If I were rid of them, then my word would be God. My word, not the word of a corporation. Still, they have their uses. The research is funded by Kane and the Groom Lake is kept running by the money and the personnel they provide. But a time will come when all this changes. You mark my words. March 19. I'm inundated with emails from all departments about inconsistency with storage and contaminated samples. This grand masquerade is sometimes more tedious than it's actually worth. Worst of all was Dr. Way and that technician. Miss Callister, is it? I'd no problem make short work of such troublemakers, but it hardly seems worthwhile. Troublemakers must be allowed to make trouble, because if they disappear, that legitimizes their claims and somebody will always take up the Wallen Crusaders' torch. Dr. Backman's tendencies are becoming harder to restrain. I'm well aware of his shortcomings. The old man is as brilliant as he is deranged, yet manages to go about his work with a sociopathic glee. He's useful to have around. He has requested more bodies for seed, specifically more women who were recently pregnant. That is problematic, as we have very few such women on board and imports are not easy to come by. We may have to play this one under the radar. May 20, the importance of seed. That fool Dr. Gray complains yet again about his beloved insects becoming more aggressive as a result of the power outages. So what? Let them spill out into the decks as far as I'm concerned. The importance of seed outranks the hydroponics project work by 1,000 to 1. I do like playing chess with Dr. Gray, of course. I win every time, a little fact he's unlikely to tell anyone, although he does seem quite happy to contact anyone who's interested with the opinion that he'd be the next best candidate for my job. Sebastian, you could not handle what I do. If you believe otherwise, then you're as great a fool as I imagine you to be. When the day that I foresee comes, your rotting corpse will be under my feet, and I will laugh. Oh, God. This person, these stories. Horrible. Julie Ford recreating her dead lover in the form of a hybrid. Dr. Williams is still under the delusion that I don't know about her personal research. Officially, it's illegal for staff to conduct their own research, but this is interesting. Recreating her dead lover in the form of a hybrid? How fascinating. If it works, I'll make use of it. If it doesn't, then it will burn with the rest of the rejects. The woman is obsessed, and I know that DeSantos is playing no small part in feeding her delusions. I know her secret research won't cause me any problems, or I would never have allowed her on Project Seed. October 23. So it seems contaminated waste from the corpse disposal overspills is contaminating the ship. It's causing fungal growth, or so my various drones tell me. The fungus is a riveting proposition, though. While I'm angry at Dr. Backman for terminating more substance than strictly necessary, these unintended side effects are fascinating. I intimated as much to Dr. Gray and of course stroked his ego with hints at promotion and glory. He'll keep the fungus alive. The engineers want it destroyed. But I'm sure we can delay that. This experiment is becoming more engaging by the day, and I haven't even had to lift a finger. So while they clock up my inbox with demands and Rome burns, I plan to play the violin. We're more than secure here anyway, and this has a certain inevitability about it. I must record the daily developments as the experiment grows. Sometimes just cannot say a word. It's just impossible. It's okay. It can be read, it can be understood. But yeah, he tells about all the different personnel. The engineers wanted to get rid of it, and the Dr. Gray kept it alive, and so on and forth. November 30. It is as I foresaw, panic, destruction and mayhem. And yet, Seed continues apace. Once the fervor and the flame dies down, we'll sweep the deck of detritus and repurpose all of it for my beautiful hybrid creations. No more growing plants for the good of mankind. God is no longer in the machine, my friends. I am God. Of course you are. December 25. My beautiful children have excelled themselves. They kill, they learn, they adapt. A primal species without any of the trappings of morality. It's their time now. They almost came to be once many years ago, but were snuffed out by humanity, afraid of its natural successors. Maybe that is what was happening in the one place that was mentioned. I don't remember what it was, the name that happened in the Earth, but something bad that the one Dr. Grace, one personnel had the great uncle who were there working eugenic project or something. Yeah, the systematic extermination was given a name, the eugenic wars. Yeah, this systematic extermination. That's what has been referred to before. You're sort of like wanting to give them the possibility to do it again. The public knew it was a corporate warfare. In truth, it was a coordinated genocide. Humanity wasn't ready for Professor Curran's astounding discovery and sought to destroy it. His work was not perfect, of course. That's where I came in. I spent most of my life as part of Kane, trying to adjust Professor Curran's original work. Old Man Kane pushed me to the top because we shared an ideal, the utilization of science for the perfection of humanity. Where we differed were the methods by which this was to be achieved. Not that he had much more to say after I held that pillow to his face as he lay in his hospital bed. All for a higher purpose. Creation of our species from raw subjects will become impossible now that the crew are dead, dying or unclean, but that's hardly an issue. Any subject who were flawed or imperfect have been turned into the fertilizer that will nurture the perfection of the surviving race. Now the challenge is moving the Groom Lake out of range of any other ships. No one can be allowed to escape the ship alive. Any good, strong survivors will become members of the new race. I am their creator. I control. I transcend. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I wonder how far we are of any other ships. And yeah, the Santos. I'm so very disappointed in you. The Santos were... I think he wrote that way prior to that he knew about the different paths and he would try to signal for ships for help. But I don't think it worked out. This Santos, I'm so very disappointed in you. A distress signal? I thought we were of one mind here in Seed. I'll castrate and destroy you for this betrayal. Your flawed body is hardly worthy of becoming one of my children. But for now, I must turn off this accursed signal. You cannot hide from me, Marvin. You track-bettling little fuck. Of course, I could hope that he would still be alive, but most likely not. Most likely not. Oh dear, let's read this PDA first of all. Robert Lingle. Julie 23. I've been reassigned to investigate the disappearance and murder of 2 scientists in the employ of Dr. Malan. A strange matter to be sure. I've been observing the movements of some of the eggheads and I can't say I am too impressed. Doesn't anybody around here record their comings or goings, or make any notes? There is no traditional organization in this department whatsoever. Project Seed answers nobody. This I know, but I thought the scientific types always made notes. Not that I care about admin, but I very much care about finding out who's selling the weapon crate secrets. Industrial secrets are a matter of life and death, especially death in this case. My investigations will be throughout and no stone will be left unturned. The staff here are strange, and in fact I'd say lots of them are even crazy. But I couldn't care less about that, I just want names and answers. Robert Lincoln, August 8. I got this job because I get things done, not because of my warm and caring personality. At the moment, people are taking umbrage to my investigations, but security is a constant and essential part of shipboard life. Especially when we're talking about industrial espionage. I'm not sure where the 2 missing scientists are, but it seems, based on the modified records I found, that they were killed and ejected into space. Any other man would assume that these 2 were the criminals, but I don't buy that. As far as suspects go, I've ruled out Charlotte Williams and Marvin DeSantos. Charlotte because she doesn't know where she is half of the time, and DeSantos because he's just a smirking shit for brains. I'm confident that he's involved in drug dealing, and I will give him this. He is cautious, and acts like he's a real ladies' man. But I know the truth. I've seen him rejected repeatedly at the bar. So he wasn't then that much of a ladies' man in all honesty. September 3. There are few men in this world who will do what has to be done. Since Julie, I've had to operate under the pretense that I'm an assistant. It's lucky that in my career I had some emergency room experience. The only other person who knows about my true purpose here is Dr. Malan. He's been encouraging. He constantly supplies me with information that I require for my investigation, and at times is a little over helpful. Still, he seems honest enough. For the record, I'm well aware of the kind of man Dr. Malan is. I've seen his experience with my own eyes. I've seen what happens when the bodies are disposed of, and the burning fires of the furnaces. But he does what is required to justify the means. There are few men in this world who will do what has to be done. For that, I admire him. He told me to watch over Dr. Williams' experiments. It seems they are unofficial, and although I prepared a report to Kane to have her removed from her position, Dr. Malan immediately overrode my request. I respect him, but to be honest, I don't like having my authority overruled. November 12th. Yeah. Pac-Man of all people was sniffing around today. Sniffling. It seems the old psychopath suddenly became curious. I asked Dr. Malan for further instructions, and he told me to incapacitate the old man. This I did. A shame I had to break the old guy's kneecaps. Honestly, I was hoping to slit his throat, but Dr. Malan insisted that he remains alive and in pain, but unable to move. I'm revisiting my earlier opinion of that DeSantos character. I still think he's pathetic little shit, but I now believe he was partially responsible for some of the stolen information. He strikes me as an amateur put up to this by an outside agent. I'll deal with DeSantos soon, but first I've got to monitor his movements. Make one move, ball, and I'll have you. Oh dear. Pac-Man, November 12th. But yeah, that was the time when Pac-Man then after this wrote in the hospital bed that he was his legs were in packaged, so to speak. December 17, Dr. Malan has earmarked me for one of his experiments. Well, not too surprising. You seem to be capable enough of a person. Has earmarked me for one of his experiments. I know this because when I attempted to leave the ship to report to Kane Corporation, I discovered that my access was restricted and blocked. I came back to my quarters and found Malan waiting here. I was waiting with two of those hellish critters that he's created. I'm not squeamish, but those things make me nauseous. I'm currently awaiting what he calls processing. I suppose at this stage I should make peace with God. I've killed many men in my life, and I'll never say that I feel remorse for it. And I won't give Dr. Malan the satisfaction of hearing me pray for mercy. My last notes on this affair are that Dr. Malan himself is at the heart of the events on board the ship. I was blind to it. I refuse to believe that he was capable of creating such devastation. I always thought that scientists liked control, but Malan breaks all the rules as far as science is concerned. The leaked information, the fungal growth, the missing scientist. I'm beginning to suspect he even knew that DeSantos was actually selling intelligence and may have fed him the information to sell. To what end? I don't know. I suspect it was because DeSantos kept Pac-Man trucked to the A-pulse with whatever powerful stimulants he happened to have, so Pac-Man could continue his work. I can hear the machines being turned on. I welcome my fate. At least I know that I did my job for Kane Corporation. Well, Just great. Well, he became one of the experiments, and he was just like okay with it in the end. Open power cell housing. Huh. Well, let's have a look.
I can't see it working like that.
I don't either exactly, but
I can't see it working like that. I think that will just break it.
I have
think
just
that would
tried the
break.
different things because I don't know what else to exactly do with that yet. Glass wall. Sticky dried substance. I would need to have something in here. Utility house innovates a replacement power cell. I would need to get those power cells. That is what I would need. I'm just not sure how to get them. But those are still the things that I would indeed be needing. Quite clearly. The question is just how am I gonna be getting them? So, yeah. How are we gonna do this? It's a very good question.
No, that won't work.
Yeah, I'm not very surprised about any of
This
this.
isn't gonna work. I can't see it working like that.
This at least
I
will
don't
work.
think this will fit.
Yeah, I just don't know what I would be supposed to be doing about those things. Because I don't see anything to react here. I can see this, it's closed, all that, good, great, but I can't do anything about it. Well, I guess I'll leave here for the time being, and I probably will go and finish this the next time, because this is pretty close to the end, I'm pretty sure. So I hope you enjoyed, even though I can't say this is necessarily quite that enjoyable. Like, well, all the test subjects and all of these informations, but nonetheless, hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you next time. So, bye bye.